How to forgive and free yourself from resentment. Buddhist wisdom. Have you ever felt hurt or betrayed by someone's words or actions? Do you find yourself holding on to resentment, even when you know it only brings you more suffering? In today's video, we'll explore the Buddhist teachings on forgiveness, why it's essential, how to let go of resentment, and the profound inner peace that comes when you finally release anger. According to Buddhism, holding on to hatred is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. So how can we stop carrying this burden and set ourselves free? Through Buddhist wisdom, we'll uncover the power of forgiveness, the role of karma and mindfulness in healing, and practical steps to free yourself from emotional pain. Whether you're struggling with past wounds or simply seeking a more peaceful life, these timeless teachings will help you cultivate compassion, wisdom, and true happiness. If this message resonates with you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful Buddhist teachings on inner peace, mindfulness, and spiritual growth. Also, let us know in the comments, what is the biggest challenge you face when it comes to forgiveness? Let's start this journey together. Why is forgiveness important? Buddhist wisdom on letting go of resentment. Forgiveness is a powerful tool for personal freedom and inner peace. In Buddhism, holding on to anger and resentment is compared to grasping a burning coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Yet, many of us struggle with letting go of past wounds, believing that forgiveness means excusing someone's harmful actions. But in reality, forgiveness is not about the other person. It is about freeing yourself from suffering. The wisdom of Buddha on forgiveness. Buddha taught, hatred does not cease by hatred but only by love. This is the eternal rule. This profound teaching reminds us that anger and resentment only breed more pain. When we refuse to forgive, we allow negative emotions to control our lives. Instead of healing, we relive our past hurts over and over, creating a cycle of suffering, stress, and emotional exhaustion. Many people believe that forgiving someone means forgetting what happened or accepting their behavior. But Buddhism teaches that forgiveness is not about condoning wrong actions. It is about letting go of the emotional burden they create. When we practice forgiveness, we release the attachment to anger, resentment, and revenge, allowing ourselves to experience peace and clarity. How holding on to resentment harms you. Refusing to forgive does not punish the person who hurt you. It only harms you. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Every grudge, every resentment adds another stone, making the load unbearable. You struggle under the weight, feeling exhausted, angry, and overwhelmed. Now imagine dropping the bag. Suddenly you feel lighter, freer, and at peace. Scientific studies have shown that holding on to anger leads to chronic stress, anxiety, and even physical health issues like high blood pressure and weakened immunity. Meanwhile, those who practice forgiveness and compassion experience reduced stress and anxiety, improved emotional well-being, better relationships, and stronger connections with others, a greater sense of freedom and happiness. In Buddhism, the mind is like a garden. If we water the seeds of anger and resentment, they will grow into suffering. But if we nurture compassion, kindness, and forgiveness, we cultivate inner peace and enlightenment. The power of letting go. One of the most powerful ways to practice forgiveness in Buddhism is through mindfulness and self-reflection. Here's how you can start. Acknowledge your pain. Do not suppress or deny your feelings. Recognize that you have been hurt and allow yourself to feel. Understand impermanence. Everything in life is temporary. Pain, like all things, will pass. Holding on to it only prolongs your suffering. Shift your perspective. Often people hurt others because they too are suffering. Instead of seeing them as enemies, try to understand their pain. Meditate on loving kindness, metta bhavana. This Buddhist practice helps cultivate compassion for yourself and others, replacing resentment with peace and acceptance. Release the need for revenge or justice. Karma will take care of actions. Your role is to free yourself from emotional chains. Final thoughts. Choose peace over pain. Forgiveness is not always easy, but it is always worth it. It is a gift you give yourself, a key to unlock the door to happiness and inner freedom. By letting go of resentment, you allow yourself to move forward, unburdened by the past. So, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is holding on to this pain helping me, or is it keeping me trapped? The moment you choose to forgive, you take back control of your peace. Understanding karma and cause and effect in forgiveness. Buddhist wisdom. In Buddhism, everything in life operates according to the law of karma and cause and effect. Every action we take, whether through our thoughts, words, or deeds, creates an imprint on our future. When someone harms you, it is a result of their karma, but how you respond shapes your own. If you choose to hold on to anger, resentment, or the desire for revenge, you are creating negative karma for yourself, continuing the cycle of suffering. However, forgiveness is the path to breaking free from this cycle, ensuring that you do not plant new seeds of pain for your future. What is karma and how does it relate to forgiveness? Karma is often misunderstood as punishment or fate, but in reality, karma simply means action and its consequences. The Buddha taught that our present experiences are the result of past actions, and our future will be shaped by what we do now. Forgiveness is a conscious choice to create positive karma rather than carrying the burden of past pain into the future. When someone hurts you, it may be tempting to retaliate or hold on to resentment. However, Buddhism teaches that responding with anger only deepens the karmic cycle. If you react negatively, you are sowing the seeds for more negativity in your life. But if you let go, forgive, and cultivate compassion, you break this pattern and move toward peace. The dangers of holding on to resentment. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. You may think that resentment punishes the one who hurt you, but in reality, it only harms your own peace of mind. Negative karma accumulation. When you cling to hatred, you reinforce negative emotions, creating mental and emotional suffering that lingers. Perpetuating suffering. Buddhism teaches that clinging to the past is one of the primary causes of suffering. The more you dwell on how you were wronged, the more you extend your pain. Impact on future rebirths. Karma does not only affect this life but also carries into future existences. If you do not resolve anger and resentment, these unresolved emotions may continue in the next life. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is an act of wisdom and strength. It is not about condoning bad behavior but about releasing yourself from the emotional and spiritual burden that anger brings. Forgiveness as a way to break the cycle of suffering. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful ways to cut off negative karma and break the cycle of suffering. When you forgive, you let go of the mental chains that keep you trapped in pain and bitterness. Buddhism teaches that everything is impermanent, including emotions, experiences, and even the harm that others cause us. Holding on to past wrongs only prolongs your suffering, whereas letting go allows your heart and mind to heal. One of the best Buddhist practices for developing forgiveness and compassion is metta bhavana, loving-kindness meditation. In this meditation, you practice sending loving thoughts to yourself, your loved ones, and even those who have wronged you. By doing so, you shift your emotional state from anger to peace. Changing karma for a better future. When you forgive and release resentment, you are not just freeing yourself in the present, you are actively shaping a better future. Every act of kindness, every moment of compassion, and every decision to let go of anger creates new, positive karma. Here's how you can start transforming your karma through forgiveness. Recognize that everyone is acting based on their own karma. People's actions are shaped by their past experiences and karma. When someone harms you, it is often because they are suffering themselves. See beyond the illusion of the self. Buddhism teaches that the idea of a permanent self is an illusion. The person who hurt you is constantly changing just as you are. Holding on to anger towards someone who has already changed is like holding a grudge against a shadow. Practice mindfulness and detachment. Through meditation and self-awareness, you can observe your emotions without becoming consumed by them. You learn to see anger as a passing cloud rather than a permanent storm. Trust in the law of karma. You do not need to seek revenge or justice. Karma naturally balances all actions. Those who cause harm will experience the consequences of their actions in due time. Your focus should be on your own peace and well-being. Forgiveness is a gift to yourself. Forgiveness is not about the person who wronged you, it is about your own liberation. It is the key to breaking free from the cycle of suffering and planting the seeds for a peaceful, joyful life. By choosing forgiveness, you create positive karma, free yourself from unnecessary pain, and allow room for growth, compassion, and happiness. Take a moment to reflect. Are you ready to release resentment and embrace peace? The choice is yours. Let us know in the comments, what is the biggest challenge in forgiving others? Letting go of resentment through meditation. Buddhist teachings. Resentment, anger, and hurt are emotions that can deeply affect our mental peace and spiritual well-being. In Buddhism, these emotions are seen as temporary, yet powerful obstacles to inner freedom. Holding on to resentment is like gripping a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. The key to letting go of anger is not suppressing it but understanding, observing, and transforming it. One of the most effective ways to release resentment is through meditation. By practicing mindfulness and loving kindness, meditation, we can observe our emotions without attachment, develop compassion, and free ourselves from the cycle of suffering. Step 1. Observing your anger without attachment. When anger arises, the first step is to become aware of it without judgment. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we identify too strongly with our emotions. Instead of saying, "I am angry," practice saying, "There is anger in me right now, but I am not the anger." How to do it? Find a quiet place to sit. Close your eyes and take deep, slow breaths. Observe the sensation of anger in your body. Where do you feel it? In your chest, stomach, or head? Instead of reacting, simply watch the anger arise and pass away, like waves in the ocean. Silently acknowledge, this is just an emotion. It will pass. I do not need to hold on to it. This practice helps create distance between you and your emotions, allowing you to see that anger is just a passing state, not your true self. Step 2. Using the breath to calm your mind. Breathing is a powerful tool in Buddhist meditation. When anger arises, the breath becomes shallow and rapid, feeding the fire of resentment. By consciously slowing your breathing, you can calm your mind and body. Breathing technique to release anger. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold the breath for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat this for at least 5 minutes, focusing only on your breath. As you breathe, visualize the anger melting away like ice under the warm sun. This simple technique helps disrupt the cycle of negative emotions and brings you back to the present moment. Step 3. Practicing loving kindness. Meditation is one of the most powerful Buddhist practices for letting go of resentment. It involves sending love and compassion to yourself, your loved ones, and even those who have hurt you. How to practice meditation. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Start with yourself. Silently repeat, "May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. May I be at peace." Expand your compassion. Think of a loved one and repeat, "May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. May you be at peace." Now bring to mind the person who hurt you. This may be difficult, but remember they acted from their own ignorance and pain. Silently say, "May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. May you find peace." At first, it may feel unnatural to send good wishes to someone who caused you pain, but over time, this practice softens the heart and dissolves resentment. Step 4. Understanding that everyone suffers. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is that all beings suffer, dukkha. People who cause harm are often acting out of their own pain, ignorance, or past conditioning. Reflection exercise. Think about the person who hurt you. What might they be going through? Were they also hurt by someone in the past? Could their actions be a result of their own suffering? When we recognize that those who hurt us are also suffering, we can begin to replace anger with compassion. This does not mean excusing their behavior, but rather understanding that resentment only deepens our own suffering. Step 5. Letting go and moving forward. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or allowing harmful behavior. It means releasing the emotional weight that keeps you trapped in the past. By holding on to anger, we continue to give power to the person who hurt us. By letting go, we reclaim our peace. Final letting go exercise. Imagine placing your resentment into a river. Visualize it flowing away, dissolving into the vastness of the water. Take a deep breath and silently say, "I choose peace over anger." The power of forgiveness in Buddhism. Through mindful observation, breath awareness, meditation, and understanding the suffering of others, we can gradually free ourselves from resentment. Letting go of anger is a gift to yourself. It is not about the other person. It is about your peace, your freedom, and your spiritual growth. Are you ready to release resentment and embrace inner peace? Start practicing these techniques today. Cultivating compassion to free the heart. Buddhist teachings. In Buddhism, forgiveness is not just a single act. It is a continuous practice of the heart and mind. True forgiveness comes from cultivating compassion, metta, seeing the suffering in others and freeing ourselves from the burden of resentment. When we train ourselves to see the world through the lens of understanding and kindness, we naturally release the grip of anger and pain. Why compassion is the key to letting go. The Buddha taught that hatred cannot be overcome by hatred. Only love and understanding can dissolve it. When we hold on to resentment, we are like a person carrying a heavy stone, refusing to set it down. This weight affects not only our minds but also our health, relationships, and overall well-being. Compassion allows us to understand that everyone makes mistakes, including ourselves. Recognize that those who hurt us are often suffering themselves. Free our minds from the cycle of anger, blame, and emotional pain. Experience true peace and emotional liberation. Step 1. Seeing those who hurt you as lost children. A powerful Buddhist practice for cultivating compassion is seeing those who have wronged you as lost, suffering children. Imagine a small child who is confused, afraid, or acting out because they do not understand the consequences of their actions. Exercise. Close your eyes and visualize the person who hurt you as a small child. Ask yourself, what kind of pain might they have endured in their life? Were they neglected, hurt, or misled? Repeat silently, just as I seek happiness and peace, so do they. May they find wisdom and healing. When we see others as human beings who, like us, struggle with their own suffering, our anger begins to soften. This does not mean we accept harmful actions, but we understand that people often act out of ignorance and pain. Step 2. Reflecting on your own imperfections. It is easy to focus on the wrongs of others, but Buddhism teaches that we too have made mistakes. Just as we seek understanding and forgiveness, others also need compassion and second chances. Reflection exercise. Think of a time when you unintentionally hurt someone. Did you regret it? Did you wish for their understanding? Recognize that just as you have made mistakes, others also act out of confusion and imperfection. When we accept our own flaws, it becomes easier to accept the imperfections of others. This shift in perspective helps dissolve resentment and replace it with empathy. Step 3. Practicing loving kindness. Metta. Meditation. Metta meditation is one of the most effective ways to train the heart in compassion and forgiveness. It helps us extend kindness, not only to those we love but also to those who have caused us pain. How to practice metta meditation. Find a quiet place and sit comfortably. Close your eyes and take deep breaths. Begin with yourself. Silently repeat, may I be happy. May I be free from suffering. May I live with ease and peace. Extend these wishes to someone you love. Imagine them smiling as you silently repeat, may you be happy. May you be free from suffering. May you find peace in your heart. Now extend metta to the person who hurt you. This may feel difficult, but remind yourself that compassion is a choice, not a feeling. Silently say, may you find peace. May you be free from ignorance and suffering. May you become wiser and more loving. Practicing metta regularly gradually softens the heart and helps us let go of deep-seated resentment. Step 4. Shifting perspective. No one is perfect. One of the reasons we hold on to resentment is because we expect perfection from others. However, no one is free from mistakes. The Buddhist perspective on imperfection. We are all shaped by our past experiences, upbringing, and karma. People act out of ignorance, conditioning, and their own pain. When we release the belief that others should have known better, we allow room for understanding and healing. Instead of thinking, they should not have done this to me, shift your perspective to, they were acting from their own ignorance and suffering. I choose to free myself from anger and move forward. Step 5. Taking action to heal your heart. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or allowing harmful behavior. It means choosing peace over suffering. Ways to actively cultivate forgiveness. Journaling for release. Write down your thoughts about the person who hurt you. Express all your feelings, then visualize letting them go like leaves floating down a river. Practicing gratitude. Focus on the blessings in your life instead of the pain from the past. Helping others. Acts of kindness help shift our energy from resentment to love. Volunteer, help a friend, or support someone in need. Forgiveness is a daily practice, not a one-time event. Each time anger arises, return to these practices and remind yourself, I am choosing peace over pain. I release this burden and embrace freedom. The liberation of a compassionate heart. Training ourselves in compassion is the key to emotional and spiritual freedom. When we choose to see others as imperfect beings struggling with their own suffering, let go of resentment through meditation, and shift our perspectives, we lighten our hearts and open ourselves to true peace. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for you. It is a path to freedom, healing, and a life of deeper wisdom and joy. Are you ready to free your heart through compassion? Start practicing today and experience the lightness of true inner peace. What is your biggest challenge in forgiving others? Share your thoughts below. Practical actions to cultivate forgiveness. Buddhist teachings. Forgiveness is not just a feeling. It is a conscious choice and a practice. In Buddhism, forgiveness is a way to free the mind from suffering, allowing us to live with peace, compassion, and clarity. While the mind may resist letting go of past wounds, taking practical steps can help us shift from pain to healing. The Buddha taught that holding on to resentment is like holding a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. By choosing forgiveness, we release that burning coal and embrace peace. Here are 3 powerful actions to help you integrate forgiveness into your daily life. 1. Writing a letter of forgiveness, even if you never send it. One of the most effective ways to release emotional pain is through writing. A forgiveness letter allows you to express your emotions, process your pain, and let go of resentment. How to write a forgiveness letter. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Address the letter to the person who hurt you, even if they are no longer in your life. Write from the heart. Express your pain, anger, disappointment, but also your intention to let go. End with a statement of release such as, I choose to release this pain and free myself from anger. I do not forgive because you deserve it. I forgive because I deserve peace. You do not need to send this letter. The purpose is not for the other person to acknowledge your pain. It is for you to process and release it. Optional practice. After writing, burn or tear up the letter as a symbolic act of letting go. As you watch it disappear, repeat to yourself, I release this burden. I choose peace over suffering. 2. The power of self-reminder. I forgive because I deserve peace. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. Many believe that forgiving means excusing bad behavior or that the other person must apologize first. But Buddhism teaches that forgiveness is for your own well-being, not for the other person. Mantra for forgiveness. I do not forgive because they deserve it. I forgive because I deserve peace. Holding on to resentment only hurts me. I choose to let go. I am freeing myself from the past and stepping into peace. Whenever anger or resentment arises, pause and repeat these reminders. Over time, your mind will begin to shift, replacing pain with acceptance. Reflection exercise. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with anger and resentment. Now visualize putting it down and walking away feeling lighter. This is the power of forgiveness. It unburdens the heart and mind. 3. Expressing forgiveness. Directly, indirectly, or internally. There are many ways to practice forgiveness. You do not always need to confront the person who hurt you. Sometimes, forgiveness happens within yourself. 3 ways to express forgiveness. Direct forgiveness, if possible and safe. If you feel ready, you can verbally or in writing express your forgiveness. Example. I want you to know that I am choosing to let go of the past. I forgive you and wish you peace. This does not mean allowing toxic people back into your life, but it is a way to free yourself. Indirect forgiveness, through actions. If direct communication is not possible, you can send positive thoughts and loving kindness, metta, to the person. Example. During meditation, silently say, may you find wisdom and healing. May you be free from ignorance and suffering. Even if you do not feel it immediately, practicing metta will gradually soften your heart. Internal forgiveness, forgiving within yourself. Sometimes the person you need to forgive is yourself. Recognize that you, too, have made mistakes and self-compassion is necessary for healing. Example: look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I forgive myself for the mistakes I've made. I am worthy of peace and happiness." Shifting focus. Moving from pain to gratitude. When we focus on resentment, we remain stuck in the past. But when we shift our attention to the blessings in our life, we create space for peace and joy. How to shift from resentment to gratitude. Make a gratitude list. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. Focus on personal growth. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? Instead of dwelling on pain, look for the wisdom gained. Engage in meaningful activities. Spend time with loved ones, practice self-care, and do things that bring you happiness. By focusing on the positive aspects of life, resentment gradually fades. Forgiveness is freedom. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It is about liberating yourself from suffering. Through writing, self-reminders, expressing forgiveness, and shifting focus to gratitude, we can break free from the emotional chains of the past. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Choose freedom over pain. Choose forgiveness over resentment. Choose peace over suffering. Are you ready to release the past and embrace peace? Begin today with a small step and watch how your heart transforms. Conclusion: start forgiving today. Forgiveness is not about the past. It's about freeing yourself in the present. When you choose to forgive, you release the burden of anger, resentment, and pain, allowing your heart to experience peace and lightness. In this video, we explored powerful Buddhist teachings on forgiveness, including writing a letter to express your emotions and release negativity. Reminding yourself that forgiveness is not for others, it's for your own peace. Practicing forgiveness through direct or indirect actions, using compassion and understanding. Shifting your focus from past wounds to the blessings in your life. When you practice forgiveness, you transform your life. Your mind becomes lighter, your relationships improve, and you start to see the world with greater love and clarity. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start forgiving today. Choose peace over pain, and you'll discover a deeper sense of happiness and freedom. If this message resonates with you, take action now. Like this video to spread positive energy. Share it with friends and family who may need this wisdom. Comment below. What is one lesson from today's video that you will apply in your life? Subscribe and turn on notifications. For more Buddhist insights on mindfulness, peace, and happiness,